back to another live session of Root Hackers Lab. And today we are going to dive into a very important topic in web security and penetration testing, file inclusion vulnerabilities. Whether you are a beginner or an aspiring penetration tester, this session is for you. So first, I share the link of this live session, and then we will continue our live session. So give me 2 minutes. First, I share the link and then we will continue our live session and deep dive into this vulnerabilities. So what is this and how to exploit this, how to get a reverse shell with the help of this vulnerability. So again, assalamu alaikum, welcome to the live session of Root Hackers Lab, and today we are going to explain and exploit file inclusion vulnerability, the most important topic in web security and penetration testing. So whether you are a beginner or an expiring penetration tester, this session is for you. File inclusion vulnerabilities are one of the most common ways hackers compromise websites. They can lead to sensitive data exposure, remote code execution, and full server takeover. If exploited properly, today I will show you exactly how it works ethically and how can test for it. So let's start. By the end of this session, you will learn how to exploit this, what is file inclusion vulnerabilities. So like the session, subscribe to the channel and share the link of this live session to your interested cybersecurity friends. So first, I explain what is file inclusion. File inclusion. What is file inclusion? This is a question. The difference between local file inclusion and remote file inclusion. So first, we explain file inclusion. File inclusion occurs when a web application allows user to include files on a server without proper validation. Attackers can manipulate this to read sensitive files or even execute code. Type of file inclusion. There are two types of file inclusion. Number one, local file inclusion, and number two, remote file inclusion. So let me talk about the number one. It includes files already on the server. For example, file etc password etc. So number two type is remote file inclusion. Includes files from external servers. Always emphasize never hack without permission. We are doing this on SafeLab or DVWS. So here is our vulnerable target called Metasploitable machine. So let me access the IPE of this website from our browser Firefox. Here is my IP of this. Now I will show you a live demo using DVWA or any vulnerable web lab environment. Make sure you follow along on your own lab safely. Open the vulnerable page and I will show you the normal file inclusion vulnerability, and let me hit enter the password and hit enter the login. And first I set up the security level to low. That's why it's best for beginners. Here is the file inclusion vulnerability. So attempt an local file inclusion by changing the parameters to the etc password. Here is a parameter in this page. So I think this is vulnerable to file inclusion vulnerabilities. uh, I want to go back the two directories. This is the signs dot slash. This signs shows us the back directories of this server. So I want to change our directory and then type etc password. Okay, so here you can see here etc password is the most sensitive file and Kali Linux. So let me explain this on my machine. Cat etc password, etc password. So here is the etc password file. It contains a user and its password and its permissions along with the directories. So this is the etc password file, and this is the most sensitive file in the website and a web server. So that's why file inclusion vulnerability is much critical in this situation. So here is the file inclusion vulnerability in low security level. So let me back one more directory, change or directory, hit enter. It's again showing me these results, and let me change the security level to medium, and then I will try this vulnerability in medium security and then see oh, how will how can I exploit this again, and then etc password. Okay, so it's not rendering the content because there is some filters in the medium security. So let me bypass the this security level, so I can put the slashes in double slashes double and then etc password. So here we can bypass this security level in medium security. That's why file inclusion vulnerability exists in a lot of websites in real world scenarios. It gives me a lot of results. Let me analyze one by one. So here is a daemon user and its file directory which he is exist in, and its permission, it's a root user. So it's sensitive information exposure vulnerability. So if you have any question, please tell me in the live chat. If you have any question, please tell me in the live chat. Hi bro, welcome bro, welcome. Bypassing the filters using URL encoding or none or wrappers is much better than this. So you want to try this. So let me analyze and intercept this request with the help of Pursuit, and then I will get a reversal from this web server. Like the live session, subscribe to the channel, and share this live session to your interested cybersecurity friends. So let me set up my proxy, manual proxy, and then I will intercept this request. First I open on my intercept and then hit enter. So as you see here, here is our request intercepted, and as you see here, there is a parameter called user agent. Here this is the user agent. We can put a PHP and a reverse backdoor on this and get a reverse shell from this uh, web server. So let me off this intercept and then go to reverse shell .com. What is this is occurring? Okay, I think it's okay. The proxy is on here in my browser, so this is so that's why it's refusing the connections. Let me hit enter. reverse-shells.com and reverse-shells.com. Okay, so I think there is some issue of network, so let me explain the PHP code. uh, Let me intercept this request. Okay, first we set up our proxy network and then use manual proxy, and then we will intercept this request. So here we intercept this request successfully, and then I upload a reverse shell here. First I set up my listener nc-lvnp8080 and hit enter. Okay, it's already in use. This port is already in use, so I use port 8000. So here I set up my listener and nc-e. What's my IP address? So it's my listener IP address here. Here, this is my listener IP address. Here is my listener IP address and our port number, and then we specify our shell bin bash. And then closed it in the simple parenthesis. What is this? Okay, it's, let me put this code again in this nc-e, my IP address and my port number and our shell bin bash here. And let me hit the apply changes. So this code is inserted here in this, and let me check my listener. So my listener is set up, so let me check this exploit and this backdoor. Let me hit enter. So it's executed. I think okay, it's not giving me any results. Let me check the problem. What's the problem? I want to access the source code of this website. View page source. it's loading. I can wait a minute for this, and then we'll explain the vulnerability. What is this? Okay, so oh, sorry, there is our burp sort proxy on, and I will access this page source. So here is our page source. As you understand PHP, you understand this code. So here is the variable file and the get method. There is some filters in this. So let me let me bypass this and get a reverse shell from this website. etc password. Here I can see again this content of this website and web server. So let me intercept this request with the help of burp suit. Intercepted. Here is the request intercepted. So first I inject the payload. If you have any questions, so tell me in the live chat. Then I will inject the payload and get a reversal from this. Okay, I think you don't have any question. So let me inject the payload. Here is our listener setup. Let me hit enter on port 80 and check my IP address if config. Here is my IP and our user agent. Let me modify this and get a reverse shell with the help of this vulnerability. Here is the PHP syntax. Pass through is a function. Pass through in PHP. It's help us in executing system commands on web server. Bin sh, bin sh, and then our IP address and the port number colon. So let me apply the changes and forward the request. It's executed on this. Okay, here we cannot get any connection. What is this problem? If config IPA. Okay, so here's my tune IP address. I can use this for my reverse shell. And I can change the port number to 8888 and hit me enter. The port is listening on this and let me intercept this request with the help of burp suit. Here is your user agent. Let me inject my payload. First pass through. Please copy this pass through and nc-e and my shell bin sh and our IP address and our port number and this syntax. Here is the simple syntax of this. So if you have any question and facing any issues in this lecture or live session of file inclusion vulnerability. So please tell me in the live chat. So let me apply the changes and forward this request. I think we get a reverse shell, but there is no response here. So that's it. The website is secure and not giving me a reverse shell. So today we learn what is file inclusion vulnerabilities and difference between LFI and RFI, remote file inclusion and local file inclusion, how hackers exploit them and most importantly, how test safely. If you enjoyed the live session, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Also, hit the bell icon so you don't miss the future live ethical hacking tutorials. Thank you so much for joining me today. Keep practicing, stay ethical. I will see you in the next live session.